Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. U.S. President Joe Biden has signed the government funding bill over the weekend after Congress passed it in a down-to-the-wire burst of activity that will avert a destabilizing government shutdown. In a statement, Biden highlighted the bill, including disaster relief, and avoids an accelerated pathway to a tax cut for billionaires. The Democratic-controlled Senate, in an 85-11 vote, passed the bill to continue government funding 38 minutes after it expired Saturday. The government did not invoke the shutdown procedures in the interim. The package had earlier cleared the Republican-controlled House of Representatives with bipartisan support. The late-night vote capped a frantic week that saw President-elect Donald Trump and his billionaire ally Elon Musk defeat an initial bipartisan deal, throwing Congress into disarray. President-elect Trump told supporters on Sunday that his billionaire ally Elon Musk was not taking the presidency, as he said his opponents are trying to suggest. The comments, which Trump made in front of conservative supporters in Phoenix, Arizona, come after Musk and Trump defeated an initial bipartisan deal this week to continue government funding, throwing the U.S. Congress into disarray. The final version stripped out some provisions championed by Democrats who accused Republicans of caving in to pressure from an unelected billionaire who has no experience in government. Trump has tasked Musk, the world's richest person, with heading a budget-cutting task force, but he will hold no official position in Washington.
But I will order federal workers to get back to the office in person or be terminated from the job immediately. And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. But the fake news knows that. No, he's a great guy, and we want to have him.
In more big news, President-elect Trump threatened to reassert U.S. control over the Panama Canal, accusing Panama of charging excessive rates to use the Central American Passage, which allows ships to cross between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Speaking to a crowd of supporters in Arizona also on Sunday, Trump also said he would not let the canal fall into the, quote, wrong hands, warning of a potential Chinese influence on the passage. Reuters reports China does not control or administer the canal, but a subsidiary of Hong Kong-based CK Hutchison Holdings has long managed two ports located on the Caribbean and Pacific entrances to the canal. The United States largely built the canal and administered territory surrounding the passage for decades, but handed over control of the canal in 1999 after a period of joint administration.
We're being ripped off at the Panama Canal like we're being ripped off everywhere else. He just said take it back. And that's a good idea. The United States is the #1 user of the Panama Canal, with over 72% of all transits heading to or from U.S. ports. Think of that. So we built it. We're the ones that use it. They gave it away. Considered one of the one of the great wonders of the world. The Panama Canal opened for business 110 years ago and was built at huge cost to the United States. And it really is big when you consider the lives and the treasure, the equivalent of $1.2 trillion today. You don't hear those numbers. When President Jimmy Carter foolishly gave it away for $1. During his term in office, it was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. You see what's going on there? China.
Panama's President Jose Raul Molino rebuffed Trump's threat to reimpose U.S. control over the Panama Canal, saying its shipping tolls are not inflated, that the canal is controlled exclusively by Panama, and it isn't influenced by China, Europe, or the United States. Well, farmers in the U.S. are bracing for headwinds in agricultural field as President-elect Trump has vowed to drastically raise tariffs on China, one of the key trading partners of these food makers. Trump, who will take office on January 20th, threatened to impose a 60% tariff on Chinese imports during his campaign. A U.S. Department of Agriculture study found the retaliatory tariffs reduced U.S. agricultural exports by $27 billion from mid-2018, when the tariffs were imposed, to the end of 2019. China remains the largest export market for the U.S. and farmers, but some officials in Iowa say the U.S. agriculture industry is in a better position this time around.
Ag groups have recognized, especially soybean growers, that diversification in end markets is something that we need to address. What's our diversification strategy, and what other markets can we fulfill?
Ag's in a little bit of a tough spot right now. In the ag economy, it's already hit. You know, you've seen layoffs from John Deere that are directly related to lack of buying from farmers. We don't have money to spend, so we're not spending it on equipment. Trade war would be devastating to agriculture. I mean, I don't really feel like we fully recovered from the last one. But I think there's a better understanding in Washington, D.C. of what the effects are when it happened the last time. And so now they know what the potential is for damage to us if it happens again.
On to corporate news. Some members of the workers' union representing more than 10,000 baristas at Starbucks began a 5-day strike at stores in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Seattle starting Friday, citing unresolved issues over wages, staffing, and schedules. This is the latest in a series of labor actions that have picked up pace across service industries, following a period when workers at manufacturers in the automotive, aerospace, and rail industries won substantial concessions from employers. At Starbucks, the Workers United Union, which represents employees at 525 stores across the U.S., said last week that walkouts would escalate daily and could reach hundreds of stores nationwide by Christmas Eve.
Starbucks workers are on strike today here in LA and the surrounding area, protesting against the outstanding unfair labor practice violations that the company has still failed to settle with our union. Additionally, our path forward that we forged with the company in February has been violated by the company for a few months now, and we will no longer accept poor bargaining and bad faith bargaining. We want a contract. We've been fighting for it for years, and the delays and the disrespectful offers to workers will not be accepted anymore.
So this strike will last until December 24th, Christmas Eve. On Christmas, we will return to work. We're hoping that this shows, well, our goal with this is to show Starbucks that we are powerful, we are strong, and they can't mess with us. Our hope is that they will come back to the bargaining table and they will give us livable wages so that we can afford to pay our rent, we can afford our groceries, we can afford to live, because right now we're struggling. And it is not okay for this company to be making billions and billions of dollars while its employees can barely afford rent.
Starbucks said over the weekend that workers' demands are not sustainable. The Seattle headquartered firm said it is ready to continue negotiations, claiming the union delegates prematurely ended the bargaining session, less than 2 weeks remaining until the year-end contract deadline. Incidentally, in the commodities market, 2024 has proven to be a bullish year for soft commodities. Bloomberg reports weather and supply woes propelled prices of coffee and cocoa higher. Precious metals have also fared well, with gold breaking records, while iron ore wallowed amid softening demand from China. Meanwhile, markets for grains and oilseeds lagged behind. Bitcoin saw its first weekly drop since Trump's election win, falling over 7% last week as the Fed's cautious outlook dampened market optimism. Bloomberg reports the broader crypto market, including Ether, dropped 10%. The Fed cut rates again but warned of slowing easing in 2024, sending markets tumbling. Trump's pro-crypto promises were not enough to stop record outflows from Bitcoin ETFs last week, pressuring prices further. Analysts say more volatility could be ahead as regulation and policy remain key factors. President-elect Trump indicated that he favored allowing social media platform TikTok to keep operating in the United States. Trump's comments before a crowd of conservative supporters in Arizona were one of the strongest signals yet that he opposes a potential exit of TikTok from the U.S. market. The U.S. Senate passed a law in April requiring TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance to divest the app, citing national security concerns. TikTok's owners have sought to have the law struck down, and the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case. But if the court does not rule in ByteDance's favor and no divestment occurs, the app could be effectively banned in the United States on January 19th, one day before Trump takes office.
It was amazing. So we got the highest vote ever for a Republican candidate. We won by 36 points with young people. That never happens. A Republican loses by 36 or 40. So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. I think we're going to have to start thinking. Because, you know, we did go on TikTok, and we had a great response with billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, you know.
It is unclear how Trump would go about undoing the TikTok divestiture order, which passed overwhelmingly in the Senate. Albania on Saturday announced a one-year ban on TikTok, that popular short video app, following the killing of a teenager last month that raised fears over the influence of social media on children. The ban, part of a broader plan to make schools safer, will come into effect early next year. Prime Minister Edi Rama said that after meeting with parents, groups, and teachers from across the country. Rama's blamed social media and TikTok in particular for fueling violence among youth in and outside school. His government's decision comes after a 14-year-old schoolboy was stabbed to death in November by a fellow pupil. Local media had reported that the incident followed arguments between the two boys on social media. Videos had also emerged on TikTok of minors supporting the killing. But the social media platform said it found no evidence that the perpetrator or victim had TikTok accounts. Several European countries, including France, Germany, and Belgium, have enforced restrictions on social media use for children. In one of the world's toughest regulations targeting big tech, Australia approved in November a complete social media ban for children under 16. In Dubai now, a car wash provides customers with a unique experience. Hidden in Dubai's alleys, in a setting resembling a proper horror movie, cars approach the carefully lit shutter of the shop. Then staff members dressed in horror movie costumes act to scare customers and give them a proper chilling experience, all while washing their cars. Designed to attract more clients to the business, the initiative gained more momentum than expected, attracting clientele that spans from families to couples and curious groups of friends.
Brother sent me a message and he was like, we can get another idea to bring more people, and I thought the idea is nice, so Within a week, we started executing the idea and the designs and the costumes and everything. And then we went out with our first video. After that, we got a lot of engagement. A lot of people started coming, more than we even expected. 99%, if not 100% of our customers are satisfied, they're happy, because it's something different. You can go for a car wash, but then it's boring. People are coming with their family, friends, even kids, but I mean over 15, because we're not allowed to let anyone under 15 to come in. So we have been having some good reactions from our customers.
I was nervous and I was also a little bit scared, but when we entered, you know, all the faces, it was amazing. Yeah, and now I'm relaxed.
بداية من أول مدخل إلين هني.
From the beginning, from when I entered until now, the situation was perfect. The signs, the instructions written on the door to turn off the lights and ring the horns, it was really as if you were inside a real house of horror, you know, a dangerous place. It was a strange feeling, frankly, a perfect feeling.
We're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll explore what role Filipino resilience plays in driving groundbreaking blockchain solutions. Stay tuned to the Bilyonaryo News channel and follow the money. Welcome back to Follow the Money. The Philippines is on the cusp of a blockchain revolution fueled by its abundant tech talent and dynamic startup ecosystem. Seizing this opportunity is ICP Hub Philippines, a nonprofit organization promoting the Internet Computer Protocol, a cutting-edge blockchain technology. Today, we'll discuss how ICP empowers Filipino innovators to create solutions addressing both local and global challenges. Joining us is Nelson Lumbres, co-founder of ICP Hub Philippines, with years of experience in finance and telecommunications. Nelson is passionate about advancing blockchain adoption, fostering Web3 education, and supporting the development of decentralized applications in the Philippines. Nelson, welcome to Follow the Money, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Raine, for having me, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Well, as perhaps just a baseline, can you share with us what makes the Internet Computer Protocol, or ICP, different from other blockchain technologies, and how does ICP Hub Philippines help Filipino innovators leverage their potential?
Yeah, for speaking to Bitcoin that you reported earlier regarding the price, ICP is a general purpose blockchain wherein you can build anything and everything within the blockchain. Think about Facebook or any social platform that we have right now, TikTok, and you can build it 100% decentralized on Internet Computer Protocol. Unlike Bitcoin, where it serves a certain purpose, just one purpose, and basically as a ledger. That's why they're calling it as the future of gold, as a replacement of gold. ICP, you can build anything and everything on the platform. And this is a game changer because we're talking about a monopoly in terms of deploying your website, deploying your platform. We're talking about Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure as your chosen monopolies, actually, right now, centralized entities. And I think this emerging technology that we call blockchain right now is something that's going to be revolutionary in the coming years to come.
Nelson, there's some criticism that blockchain makes criminal activity harder to trace and harder to catch. What would you say to that? Does that mean that blockchain becomes, or actually proliferates criminal activity precisely because of its security features?
Well, not necessarily. Everywhere you go, depending on that entity, depending on that person or on that organization, there will be criminalities. The money right now has been used in drugs in so many ways. The reason why this is being pinpointed, because again, emerging technology, similar to internet 20 years back, they mentioned as well that this is going to be the source of something that with illegal transaction that's happening on the background. But at the end of the day, we're still talking about the percentage. We cannot control the malicious intent of people on doing so. They're mentioning that they're doing the money laundering right now in the blockchain, but which is currently being tracked right now because everything is public. So if you think about it, it's more secure because you can trace it at the end of the day, regardless of they launder it or they do this, they use this app wherein they can launder their bitcoins or whatever. It will still be tracked at some point in time. So I doubt it. I think that's unfair as well because illegal or malicious activities happens anywhere, any platform.
And you don't think that regulation would be needed at this point?
At this point, we really need the adoption first, and depending on the applications that will be built on the blockchain, we'll see from there. But to be honest, that the main ethos of the blockchain is for it to be decentralized. No more centralized intermediaries, wherein you place your information and that centralized entity will have control on your data. And I think we have to address that first, and then we move forward to the one that you mentioned, and on the regulation.
Right. Moving forward, you have supported initiatives, especially more recently with over 200 startups featured in the Philippine Startup Week 2024. How has your company, for example, enabled Filipino entrepreneurs to adopt blockchain technology and build these decentralized applications?
Yes, we do have during the Philippine Startup Week a lot of startups, but to be honest, we still need more as they're still looking for traditional or legacy pathways for them to grow. We're the ones we're offering right now. We're bridging the gap between local and international. So through our I Think hackathon that which we did during the Philippine Startup Week, the winners get an instant prize. The top winners get an instant prize in peso. But at the same time, they'll be incubated by us, wherein they'll be given $5,000 grants just for them to continue with their plans within the 3-month period. If they do well, we will be having this platform we call Olympus within the Internet Computer Protocol, wherein this Olympus platform has several big VCs or angel investors. We're talking about millionaires, billionaires like Blockchain Capital, which are really looking or keen on looking at projects coming from third world countries or emerging countries like us, and investing on them. So we're bridging that gap. That makes us unique. We're bridging that gap from local to international marketplace.
Talk about international. We have about 2 minutes left, but very, very quickly, blockchain innovation is thriving in countries like Singapore and Vietnam. How is the Philippines positioning itself to compete in the regional and global blockchain race? And are there still obstacles that we need to overcome?
That's something that we're working on together with the government. We've partnered with several local government units, but we really need a national partnership. That's something that we're working on, and hopefully we can secure that next year. But if you mention Singapore, Vietnam, if you go back 5 years ago or 6 years ago, there has been a conscious effort for them to really leverage on this emerging technology. So they understand that this is going to be the future, and through a conscious effort working with an institution or organization like us, right now they're able to secure their place. So I'm hoping Philippines will be the next country wherein builders, developers, or founders will be building something innovative, and we can showcase Filipino talent on the international marketplace.
Especially since there's quite a dearth of talent in that particular sector,
Exactly.
77% of employers having a difficulty. Finally, in the last few seconds, is there a legacy that you're aiming for in your work for the global blockchain landscape?
We're looking at decades of software as a service. We know that everybody's using software. Your company is using software. I think for us, we're really pushing for blockchain as a service. This is going to be the next future that will happen. I guess the 9 to 5 job will be different in the next 5 to 10 years. Resumes will be obsolete. It's going to be a proof of work. Your brand will be yourself. Everybody will be entrepreneurs. So that's what we're looking at. We're going to change software as a service to blockchain as a service.
Lots of growth potential still in this sector. Thank you so much, Nelson Lumbres, co-founder of ICP Hub Philippines, for sharing your insights and the exciting future of blockchain innovation still ahead in the country. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we go, we'll leave you with this thought from Melanie Swan, author of Blockchain, the Blueprint for a New Economy. The real innovation of blockchain technology lies in the way it changes our ability to organize economic and social systems without centralized control. And that is it for today's edition of Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.